Hello everyone, today we'll be looking at a range of idiomatic expressions or idioms all about likes and dislikes. So idioms are super quick way to boost your fluency if you use them correctly and you use good idioms too. So let's just quickly review our understanding. Idiomatic expressions are used often in speaking as well as writing, reading, listening, all the skills within English language. And they give a very different meaning to how the words first appear. Things like similes and metaphors can be idiomatic at times. But idioms they look very different to their true meaning. In English, as well as lots of other languages, idioms are used often. And idioms can be very different depending on where in the world you come from. So Northern English idioms are quite different to Southern English idioms. And there's a lot of American, Australian, Canadian idioms that I wouldn't know unless they were explained to me. So I'm just going to teach you some really useful ones today. But just so as a part of a review, here is an example. Break a leg. Very common idiom. It's almost said in a kind of cheeky way because it sounds quite different to its meaning. Break a leg, and it actually just means good luck. So a really simple, clear example of what an idiom is. Break a leg. Good luck in whatever task you are about to attend to. So I'm going to teach you a few different idioms and give you some examples. And here are the idioms for today. I'm mad, crazy about. So that's obviously I like something. Not my cup of tea. For dislike. It's right up my street. For liking something. I dig it. Quite American. That's again for like. Doesn't float my boat. That's quite British. Dislike. And I can't bear it. There's no bear. And it just means dislike. So these are the expressions we'll be looking at today within idioms. Specifically for likes and dislikes. And utilizing these expressions within your own speaking is going to be super useful. So let's begin our live speaking video. So we'll begin with the expression I'm mad or I'm crazy about. You can use them both equally naturally at the same time. But I'm mad about is probably more British. I'm crazy about something is more American. And of course it means we really like something, bordering on even loving it. I'm absolutely mad about PlayStations. I love PlayStation games. I'm crazy about gaming consoles. They're definitely very similar within use. I'm mad about football is more of a British use. Mad, I'm mad about, not just football. I'm mad about it. That's definitely more of a British colloquial expression. But quite equally, you can use either mad or crazy. I'm mad about it. I'm crazy about it. Okay, our next expression and idiom is definitely British, and I'm sure you can see why. Not my cup of tea. It's not my cup of tea. Now, tea is generally associated, of course, with British society because there's lots of tea drinking in Britain. Thank you, India, for that. You're part of the culture. But it's a general stereotype that British people like milk tea. And if we say, it's not my cup of tea, or if you say, oh, that's not really my cup of tea, it means that we don't like it. It's not to our taste. Now, you don't just have to use that for food. You can use it for anything, for activities. You can even use it for people too. Oh, yeah, Kevin's okay. He's not really my cup of tea, though. So you can use it to describe lots of different things. Not my cup of tea. Okay, on to another British expression here, right up my street. It's right up my street. Now, there's no street involved. This is an idiom, but it means that this is something we really like. It's something that matches our interests. Oh, the new TV is right up my street. It has internet, it has everything else included. Right up my street. On my new car, it's right up my street. Air conditioning, power steering, and everything else is included within it. Right up my street. A really interesting idiom to use for like. Okay, I dig it is definitely more of an American idiom, dig it. And you could probably say American, possibly Australian too, dig it. I really dig surfing. I really like it. You can pretty much replace dig for the synonym like. I like it, I dig it. And it just means that you really enjoy it. I dig it. This next idiom is really interesting and colloquial, native speaking sounding. And it's definitely something that you could have a go at using. Doesn't float my boat. Now, it sounds a little bit strange, but it basically means you dislike something. Doesn't float my boat. My new work, it doesn't really float my boat. It's not to my taste. And it's just generally talking about things that we quite dislike. That movie yesterday didn't really float my boat. I wish we would have seen something else. Didn't or doesn't float my boat. This next idiom is also with slightly different use. And the idiom is, I can't bear it. Of course, you can change the pronoun here from I, we, you. But I'll give you an example from I. I can't bear it. Can't bear it. Of course, there's no grizzly bear involved. It basically is more connected to patience or waiting for something. For example, the rush hour traffic on Friday. I can't bear it. Now, that does mean that you hate it and you really dislike it, but it's also talking about general patience and waiting. We can use it in regards to people too, and it generally means that we don't have patience for them. Oh, my boss at work, I can't bear him. I can't stand to be around him. So definitely an interesting idiom that you can try using. Obviously, try not to offend anyone when using these idioms too. Okay, so that is our 6 idioms covered for likes and dislikes. These are all idioms that are popular and in use for native speakers. So definitely expressions that you can now keep in your language too.